At 33, with my wife Stella, who's 28, life seemed like a dream. We have twin daughters, Zoe and Stella, who just celebrated their 8th birthday 2 days ago. They're such little beauties, with blonde curls just like their moms. We chose their names with so much love, and it's a joy to see how much they resemble her in every way. Before that day, I was convinced I had the perfect family. My daughters adore us, and we return that love tenfold. I've always seen my wife as the epitome of tenderness, beauty, and purity. We rarely argued, just the usual household disagreements and the occasional clash over how to raise the girls. But nothing ever made me doubt her loyalty or honesty. She never gave me a reason to be jealous or suspicious. Our relationship was flawless, even in the bedroom, where everything felt just right. I never felt the need to look elsewhere. It was like I had found my little slice of paradise in this world. But to keep that paradise, I had to work hard, taking extra trips to make sure my family had everything they needed. I'm a long-distance truck driver, so I often find myself far from home. But I always knew I had a strong, loving support system waiting for me when I returned. My girls and my beloved wife. Never in my worst nightmares did I think that my daughter's birthday would be the day my world shattered, or that the image I had crafted of my family would come crumbling down. The morning before yesterday, we started the day by celebrating our daughter's birthday. We each gave them a gift, and after some joyful moments, we took them over to my mother-in-law's so we could have time to head to Auchan, pick up some treats and groceries, and decorate the apartment nicely before the guests arrived in the afternoon. We bought everything we needed and were heading out with bags to the car in the hypermarket's parking lot. As I was loading the trunk and back seat with our purchases, I noticed Stella wasn't beside me. I was about to grab my phone to call her when I spotted her to the left of the store entrance, locked in a heated argument with some woman. It wasn't just a casual disagreement. They were seriously at it. The woman was gesturing wildly, even trying to grab Stella by the hair. I quickly locked the car and ran towards them. The woman was hurling insults at Stella, words I don't even want to repeat here, out of respect for you, my friends. Just as she was about to strike, I managed to catch her hand and shove it aside. She didn't stop spewing venom, calling my wife every name under the sun. If she had been a man, I might not have held back, but instead I calmly asked, "Who are you, and what gives you the right to insult my wife?" Stella was tugging at my hand, urging, Let's go already. Can't you see she's out of her mind?" The woman, whose age was hard to pin down, somewhere between 35 and 40, I'd guess, was a striking brunette, dressed quite tastefully, with makeup to match. She looked at me, clapped her hands in some twisted satisfaction, and sneered, "And you must be the husband." Then, turning to Stella with a vindictive grin, she said, "Well, there you go. You're busted." She then stepped closer, her fingers playfully brushing against my forearm, then sliding to my waist as she said, "You're not bad at all. Hey, sweetheart, lend me your man for a couple of days, or you might end up swapping with mine." Her words hit me like a ton of bricks, and I immediately demanded to know what she thought she was doing and what all this was about. She responded with a smirk, telling me I'd better keep an eye on my wife, so she wouldn't be tempted to fool around with other men. I turned to Stella, and she was covering her face with her hands, tears streaming down her cheeks. I beeped the electronic key and told her to get in the car and wait for me. She was still standing there, trying to speak through her sobs, but I insisted, "Go to the car. Now." The woman just stood there, grinning with this malicious satisfaction. I said, "You've got the wrong idea. We have a great family. I love my wife, and she loves me. We have 2 beautiful daughters. I'm not one to believe in gossip or empty talk." The woman's expression softened into a mockingly sympathetic smile. "Oh, I feel sorry for you, man. So young, and already you're wearing those horns. Yes, your wife's been cheating on you with my husband. And I've got the proof." I stumbled over my words, saying I couldn't process all of this right now. It was our daughter's birthday, and this was hardly the time for such revelations. She wished my daughters good health, agreed to meet another day, and we exchanged phone numbers. I needed to get to the bottom of this, but not now. Did I even want to? My head was spinning, you know. I got into the car, and Stella was in pieces, crying uncontrollably. I told her not to say anything for now, not until we could sort this out properly. I just demanded that she calm down, put on a brave face, and act as if nothing had happened. After all, it was our children's birthday, and I wasn't about to let anything, or anyone, ruin it. The most important thing was to avoid any drama or tears. We had to pretend everything was fine. I reminded her that she had some acting experience, so this shouldn't be too hard. As we prepared, decorated, and set everything up, she tried a couple of times to break down, but I kept her steady. The party itself went off without a hitch. First, the kids had their fun with a loaded table, gifts, contests, and games. Later in the evening, the adults gathered around the table. Stella, who usually drank very little, kept reaching for the wine, then the cognac, and I had to step in to hold her back. After the guests left and the girls, full of happiness, were tucked into bed, I tried to have a serious conversation with Stella. But it was like hitting a wall. All I got were tears and a constant stream of "I'm sorry" and "I love you, only you." It was as if she either didn't have any answers or simply refused to tell me anything, repeating over and over, "I have nothing to say to you." The next day, which was yesterday, I reached out to that woman, and we arranged to meet at a cafe in the same shopping center where Auchan is. Her name, as it turns out, is Victoria. She was quick to apologize for her outburst the previous day, saying she had no idea it was my daughter's birthday, and that she never intended to ruin it. I reassured her that the day hadn't been spoiled. Then she pulled out a small laptop from her purse, inserted a USB drive, and showed me surveillance footage. There on the screen was my Stella, arm in arm with some man, entering and leaving an apartment building together. Victoria then told me she had also installed cameras in the apartment, and with a solemn tone she added, "I don't think you want to see what's on here." When we first met in the cafe, she had tried to threaten me, but I reminded her that we had agreed to keep things civil. However, what came next was something I genuinely couldn't stomach: footage of them in our bedroom, while Victoria was at work. If that morning I was still grasping at straws, hoping against hope that Victoria had made a mistake, or that I'd see another woman in those videos, now there was no denying the truth. The one I had considered the very center of my world, the one I had always thought of as an angel, had betrayed me. It felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. I couldn't see or hear anything clearly anymore. There was just this relentless buzzing in my ears, and my chest felt like it was being crushed. Victoria's voice snapped me out of it. "You're going to break my arm." Realizing I had been gripping her too tightly, I let go. She then called over the waitress and ordered a double shot of cognac and a slice of lemon for me. After the second shot, I was able to regain some composure. From what Victoria told me, I learned that her husband, who is also my wife's lover, is a typical Alphonse, a man living off a woman. He's 8 years younger than her, has no home of his own, and has spent his entire life living with his parents and a disabled sister in a Khrushchevka somewhere out in the sticks. Victoria herself came from a poor background. Her father died when she was just 3, and her mother and stepfather were heavy drinkers. But she had clawed her way up in life, achieving everything on her own. She never thought about marriage or children, just focused on her career. She's built a successful business, earned a respectable position in society. But then, as she hit 35, she started longing for love. And this is where it led her. Yes, the guy can sing a good tune, clearly. She even quoted him saying, "It's just not meant to be." She assured me that I didn't need to worry. He was already out of town and wouldn't be showing up in our lives again. But that didn't bring me any comfort. Before leaving, she handed me her business card with both her office address and her reception's phone number on it. Victoria's driver ended up taking me home in my car. When I got home, my wife greeted me with tears streaming down her face. I told her straight up that I knew everything, every detail. And I didn't hold back, making sure to point out that her so-called lover was nothing more than a leech, a con artist who'd spent his life living off others. Do you have any idea how revolting it feels? My entire world, the image I had cherished, everything just crumbled to pieces. It's like the world didn't just turn black and white. It turned into some murky black and gray void. I can't even wrap my head around it. My Stella, the mother of my little princesses. God, I don't know what to do, how my daughters will handle this. Stella is a fantastic mother. I can't say I've been a bad father either, and as far as I could tell, she was an amazing wife. To our daughters, we are one unit, an inseparable whole. And now, she's begging for forgiveness, saying she doesn't know what came over her, swearing on our daughters that she'll never do anything like this again. But what's the point? What's the point of any of it now? You can only destroy something once. Hi everyone. This morning, I got a message from Victoria. She's offering me a job at her company. I told her I'd think about it. Well, my dear listeners, another chapter, another story has come to a close. I'm really looking forward to reading your comments, and I'd love to chat with you about it. I'm especially curious to hear your thoughts. How would it feel to be in this guy's shoes? He worked hard to earn his living. And then, just when he least expected it, life threw him such a cruel curveball. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like. It really helps. And if you haven't already, subscribing to the channel would be the best way to say thank you. Take care, friends, and see you soon.